What's going on, everybody? It's time to get your tarps on for a Week 2 NHL preview. Dayton, Riley, right back with you. Riley, how's it going? Are you ready for Week 2?
Oh, absolutely, man. It's going to be awesome. Every week's a good week now that NHL hockey's back.
All right, let's jump right into this one. First up, it's someone that you really had your eyes on in Week 1. That was the New York Rangers. They're going up against the big dog Edmonton Oilers with Stuart Skinner. How are you feeling on this one?
I have this noted for them as a big test early in the season, an early big test. Team who's made the Stanley Cup final the last couple of years, not off to the hottest of starts, the Oilers. So, they're 1-1, whereas the Rangers are 2-0 as of this recording. So, I don't know. I'm looking for the Rangers to at least score a goal. That would be nice. And not let Stuart Skinner shut them out like they have had happen twice. So, yeah, I'm looking for them just to show up a little bit better. But I'm looking for the Oilers to solidify some questions. They need to get better too. So that's where we're at, I think, with that matchup, at least as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Stuart Skinner's in net, so it shouldn't be hard for the Rangers to get that one goal they are hoping for in this one. What about the next one, Riley? Washington and Tampa Bay. This is another one with your Bolts. You might have this one circled in red on your calendar. Ovi is always a threat. What are you looking out for in this one?
Yeah, not only is Ovi always a threat to everyone, I am pretty sure, might be wrong, Tampa Bay is the team that he has scored the most goals against in his career. He scores pretty much every single game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's just a team he likes to play against, a team he does well against. So you're welcome, Ovi, for the goal record because Tampa is a huge part of that. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's why I picked it. Is one, Tampa is only 1-2, and Washington's 2-1. They caught Ovi coming in. I'm just looking for Tampa to kind of solidify what they did against Boston. They still weren't perfect versus Boston. Letting multiple multi-goal leads go and letting twice goals in back-to-back shifts. So I just want to see some solid play from Tampa and looking for Ovi to continue his dominance versus Tampa because who doesn't love to see Ovi score? I mean, I want him to get to 50 this year. Put one in versus Tampa. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? It'd be great for Ovi. But in this next game, there's a team that you kind of you were disappointed on the way they structured their lineup last week. It's Calgary Flames. They played Dustin Wolf back to back. Not really any trust in in Devin Cooley. They're going up against Utah with newly acquired John Jason Peterka. What do you have to say about this matchup?
What do I got for this one? Like, is this the battle for the Pacific 5? Right? Like, they're probably both on the outside looking into the playoffs at the end of the year, but are they battling for that fifth spot together? One of them's going to end up 6, one's going to end up 5. I think that's what it could be. Utah pretty much all depends on development. If their team doesn't develop this year, they're not going to be a playoff team or close to it. And for Calgary, it's kind of the opposite. Their veterans have to hold them together. And if the veterans fall apart, they're going to fall apart. So to me, it's just an early season test of you really want to get those 2 points because they're going to be big for whoever gets them.
Yeah, we mentioned Devin Cooley. Well, Utah's got their own Cooley. Logan Cooley, a younger guy who you said is probably going to have to be one of those leading factors for the Mammoth this season. Their first season as the Mammoth, but time will tell with the young squad and the old squad in Calgary how their seasons pan out. But Pittsburgh and LA is a team that I'm just hoping that they don't end up facing Edmonton again at the end of the season. But in this week, they have a matchup against Pittsburgh that they probably should win, no?
You'd think so. And I highlighted this for one thing, is it's the last time it will be Kopitar versus Crosby in LA.
Okay.
So it's going to be a big deal. 2 longtime best centers in the NHL, both with 3 Stanley Cups under their belt, or maybe Kopitar only has 2. I always mix up if LA has 3. I think
yeah.
But either way, multiple Stanley Cups, great captain.
Enough Selkies to make up for it.
Exactly. So that's why I highlighted it. Just a nostalgia game. But yes, LA should take this game. But we do have to note LA does have the worst defensive pair in the NHL right now in Cody Ceci and Brian Dumoulin. They've, as of tonight, they split them up, but they were the worst pair in the NHL. And then just behind them, the other worst defenseman was Travis Hamonic of the Detroit Red Wings. So not good to have two of the bottom three defensemen on your team if you want to be good. So they got to shore that up somehow.
Yeah, to be honest, that was a name I haven't heard in a while. Brian Dumoulin was the better defenseman on that pair. I have not heard. Who was the other guy's name you mentioned? Like I can't even remember. Cody Ceci. Last time I heard about him, he was playing for the Ottawa Senators, and then he moved to Edmonton, right?
Yeah, they traded him in the offseason for Cap.
This year.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he just disappeared off their roster to me. That was another guy that got traded this offseason that just got lost in the dust.
Yep.
New Jersey Devils, Florida Panthers. Sheldon Keefe's second season behind the Devils bench going up against the two-time champs. The Devils have kind of like a underrated goaltending tandem, I think. Markstrom and Allen, neither of them have kind of risen to the occasion the past couple seasons, but when they're both good, they can both be good. And I think they could push to be a good goaltending tandem this season.
Yeah, and for me, the way that I have this labeled as is New Jersey on the rise. Because they beat Tampa. They have they're 1-1 as of this recording, but they have a chance to maybe do a little bit more. Their loss was to Carolina 6-3, not so good, but they beat Tampa 5-3. Now they're going against Florida, and I'm wondering, okay, what is this team? What does this team really look like right now? And we're going to find out because Florida is a heck of a team, and New Jersey is young and they're talented, but are they all the way there? That's the question.
I'm excited to see how young guy Simon Nemec fares. I remember him blowing kisses to the crowd in Halifax here when he was at the World Juniors. And ever since then, his character has kind of made him become one of my favorite defensemen in the NHL. I'm excited to see how his season pans out. Next game, Winnipeg and Nashville, a big Central Division clash. I think this is always a good one, especially come playoff time. This is always a good series, but leading up, there's always been some good games in the regular season. I'm looking for Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele to kind of lead the offense here in a game that they probably should win in Nashville, but there's guys on the back end like Roman Josi that can shut you down, and guys up front like Marchessault and Stamkos that can still produce even at their age.
And that's why I have this tagged as is Nashville back 2-1-0. They have a 2-1 win over Columbus, a overtime loss, they're 2-0-1. They have an overtime loss versus Utah 3-2 in the first ever Ice Age game, might we add. And then they beat the Senators 4-1, who beat the Lightning. So to me, Nashville is a team that I picked them earlier in a past episode for them to be the surprise team of the year because I just didn't think that they were going to have 2 years like that in a row. And I don't think I'm wrong in that at this point. Too many veterans, too good of a team to fold again and not make it in the Central, in my opinion, at least as a 4 seed or the 5, because the Pacific could be a little weaker again.
Yeah, now I feel kind of stupid for saying in our episode that it'll come out in a couple days once Dallas gets it uploaded. But I said that Nashville's 4 C's down the middle. I think it was Martin, Hulla, Svechkov, and McCarron. And I saw a graphic that was like, is this really an NHL 4C or like 4 centers in the NHL? I was like, no, it doesn't look like a real roster, but hey, it's getting the job done. Brady Martin, what a pick that has turned out to be for the Predators.
Absolutely.
Next game, Ottawa and New York Islanders. Will Matthew Schaefer be able to pick up a couple more points, or will this Ottawa team keep rolling on all cylinders, Riley? They beat Tampa. What else can they do in the Atlantic Division? I know they're not in the Atlantic right now in this one, but they might move to the top of the division here soon.
Yeah, well, they started strong, right? Now versus Tampa. Tampa really threw that game away to them. Should have won it, but they haven't done well since. They lost 6-2 to Florida. They lost 4-1 to Nashville, like we just said. Um, but they're going up against the Islanders that have lost, lost, and lost. So this is a game Ottawa should have. The Islanders don't look like a team ready to compete. They realize that they're giving Schaefer the keys, but my thought is, does his ice time come down this game because he's going to be matched up against Brady Tkachuk the whole night? And that is not a guy you want getting licks in on your defender, your number one prospect, for 15 minutes of the game, of the 26 that he might play, right? Like, that's a lot of bumps that Brady Tkachuk could take on to Matt Schaefer. So I'm just wondering if his minutes come down, they kind of protect him, or they let him go and see what happens, and it's up to the team to kind of protect him versus Brady Tkachuk. But they have dirty guys too, like Nick Cousins, one of the sneakiest, dirtiest guys in the league, who just does some crap that you don't want to see. So who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But I'm just wondering if that changes their kind of leash on him, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the Ottawa Senators are able to bounce back. I know one guy that wants to bounce back is Linus Ullmark. He didn't have the best first season in Ottawa last year, so if he can kind of have a bounce back season and lead this team from the back end up, then I think they might have a chance to kind of move up the standings in the Atlantic Division. It's going to be a tight Atlantic this year. It always has been, at least for the past few seasons. And like you just mentioned, Nick Cousins, an Atlantic Division matchup in the preseason with Montreal, he gave Ivan Demidov a pretty good hack on the wrist, and Demidov was out for the rest of that game. So I agree with you on the dirty part.
Yeah, he was a Florida Panther, so he doesn't get out of his DNA. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't like Nick Cousins. I wouldn't mind it if he wasn't in the league anymore.
Well, fellas, that does it for the week 2 preview here on Game Day Terms. Like Riley said in our recap video, make sure you're sticking around and staying tuned. Every week we're going to be doing previews, recaps, looking at the games behind us, looking at the games ahead of us, seeing what is going on all around us in the NHL. So stay tuned. For Riley, myself, and the rest of the guys over at Game Day Tarps, we'll see you in the next one.